Brazil is still a little bit hot. And I don't mean like upset. I definitely don't mean like attractive hot. No, I just mean like temperature hot. Wearing that jersey, wearing that full uniform. The pads, the gear, the shin pads, the skates, the mitts, the bucket for a little bit tonight. Wow. I didn't even really bother to change. I left the undershirt on, came up here upstairs to jump on night shift as soon as possible. So without further delay, let's start the live stream.
Broadcasting live and worldwide. Here's Brody Brazil.
That's kind of an interesting contrast for the San Jose Sharks. They just played the worst team, among the worst teams in the league last night, the 47-point Desert Dogs. Sharks get beat 5-2. It was a game where I thought the Sharks could have won 5-2. I thought they were the better team last night. Tonight, I thought they were good enough to hang in there with Colorado, but they're the best team in the league. They now have 102 points, 48 wins. And they win tonight, 4-2 is the final score. So 2 defeats, 2 different storylines, 2 different strength of opponents. And the Sharks overall playing 6 pretty good periods in a 24-hour span. I don't think there's a ton to be upset by. I still think turnovers are a main issue with the team. Tonight, some long rebounds on Kakkonen that the Avs are able to score on. But again, this is the Avs. You make mistakes tonight, and pretty much everyone is going to count against you. And I'm also pretty impressed by this group of theirs that seems to get stronger as this year goes longer. You know, I know for them, flirting with 120 points, that's on the radar, but this is still a Colorado team that, have they got to the conference finals in any of the last 5-6 years? You know, their current build of the team. Like, they've got to round 1, they've got to round 2, but they've never even got to round 3 with this group. And you just feel like the additions of Kadri and a couple other players, like this could be their season. And hey, happy for a guy like Andrew Cogliano on their club now, and it's going to get to taste this. And as Randy said tonight, it literally is like hitting the jackpot at the trade deadline that he'll get to experience that. But back to the Sharks. What can you say? 15 games left. At this point, it's kind of like, what storylines are you going to pick? What things do you want to see? One of them for me is Kaapo Kakkonen. So 15 games left. How many starts will he get? He's already made 2. He's allowed 4 goals in each of them, 4 against Edmonton, 4 more tonight against the Avs. So 2 difficult defensive assignments, right? Those are 2 teams that can score with the best of them. Didn't look bad at all in either of them, but did allow 8 goals in 2 games. But here's my question. With the 15 games left, is it just going to be Reimer and Kakkonen? Or is Hill going to be healthy anytime soon? Would he get a couple starts? Are we just going to go 50-50 on the starts down the stretch? Do you want to see Kakkonen like a total of maybe 8 more times? Do you want to see him 10 times before the year's over? I think if you're really trying to make a decision, a goaltending decision, because you got 3, right, for next year, so long as you get an offer out there and you retain Kakkonen, who's set to be an RFA, and it only makes sense to do so, going into next year, you're just not going to roll with 3 like that, with Hill, with Reimer, and with Kakkonen. So the question is, have you seen enough of him? Do you need, or do you want to see a little bit more in order to, make what is a pretty important decision in which of the 2 from 3 are you going to roll with? But Colorado's good. I mean, it was a back-and-forth game. Avs scored first. Sharks retaliate. Avs score again. Brent Burns answers. We'll talk about Timo Meier in just a second, too. It's almost like what did you expect in this game? It was close. Better team on paper won. Sharks got maybe a little bit, not complacent at the end, but kind of ran out of gas a little bit. I thought their second period was probably the best of them all. Their third period, they got 4 shots on goal. And it's not always about that. It really isn't. But I feel like in this one, it probably told a theme of who had the puck, who didn't, who had the scoring opportunities, who didn't. I thought it was I thought it was a potential turn in this game early second period. A minute 54 seconds in when Alex Newhook gets his 12th on the year. Sharks challenge it for goalie interference. Was it Comfer out front? And officials say there was no interference. So now Sharks are down 1-0. Now they have to go on the kill. They do kill it. And then Timo gets his 31st on the season about 10 minutes later. So it kind of felt like in the second period, the Sharks weathered the storm, so to speak, and did a pretty good job of it. Had some good scoring looks and opportunities. But third period, 4 shots is just not going to give you a chance to untie a game that was level at 1. Timo Meier continues to be a story, and I'm telling you, probably most consistent scorer of this year. Obviously, he and Hurdle are the top 2 leaders in goals. Couture's not there. Burns is not there. Obviously, Carlson missed a bunch of games. He's not there. Hasn't been a goal scorer this year. So I'm happy for Timo. I really am. And this continues to be a theme that, coming off of last year where kind of got called out, was put in the spotlight and was challenged and has responded to that challenge. It's funny. I posted a picture on Twitter earlier tonight interviewing Timo from 2017. See if I can pull it up here real fast. I know this is going to be stupid that I'm doing it on my on my phone instead of putting it on the actual screen. What? Twitter just crashed? Do apps actually crash on the phone nowadays too? Like, what's going on here? Never seen that one before. Here it is. So there's me interviewing Timo Meier here. I'll turn on the brightness just a little bit so you can probably see it better. Crazy, right? There he is in 2017 with the Barracuda. And now tonight, a career high in goals and in points for number 28. It's cool when you kind of knew that players had the chance to pan out. And they did. And same thing with Hurdle many, many years ago. But, Timo's the most recent iteration of that. All right, I will get to the Q&A in just a second. But first, a little announcement. I kind of teased this announcement at the end of the last live stream, so I'll deliver it here. And it's not that big a deal. I told you guys, don't lose any sleep over this. But Saturday, I'm going to do pre and post game, actually with Drew. He won't be here, but he'll be remote. So I'll do that show. And then on Tuesday, I'll work one last scheduled Sharks game this season with Curtis. And then that's it. I will be transitioning into baseball season starting at the end of next week, opening day for the A's. They're playing 10 straight road games. This is not anything new or unfamiliar if you've followed my path in the last couple of years. At some point, I either do both for a bit, or last year because of the pandemic, because of a lot of different workload issues, I went straight to baseball and stayed there. And obviously last year was the shortened hockey season too. So it does appear that I will get to game 69 of the Sharks season. And then I will go to baseball. So I guess I'm also telling you that there's only going to be 2 more Sharks night shifts here on the YouTube channel for this season. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll have a season recap. I'll have some thoughts maybe going into the offseason, some moves, some targets, state of the franchise, all that stuff. I'm also going to try during baseball season to do a bunch of interviews while I'm here at the office, while I'm here at the studio for long hours. I do have it set up so that I can conduct interviews from here live. Like I can do a live, talking head interview with somebody on the YouTube channel from here at the conference room office at NBC Sports. So I am considering doing a lot of that and making it hockey centric even during baseball season. If I can catch some of these players over the summer, I will definitely do it. But my plan and my intention during baseball season is to probably do some live streams during games. Baseball games can go 2.5 hours. They can go 4.5 hours. So to plan something afterwards is not always logistically possible or feasible with my schedule. But I do know that usually I will have good chunks of time during baseball games to do live streams. So that will be happening during the baseball season. Providing content, yes, a lot of baseball is what you're going to see, but also hockey's not going away for me. You guys know that. Guys and gals know that. It's not, I just won't be on this assignment through the end of the hockey season. And so I tell you that with, a little bit of sadness. I mean, even though we understand where this season is going, it feels like just yesterday. We had opening night. Sharks started off winning 4 games in a row. There was a lot of promise, even into December. Hey, this season could be something. And even through the COVID surge that the team had, and they played well, and they were resilient. And then honestly, ever since 2022 struck, they just haven't been able to put it together on any regular basis. But like I said, even then, even with all that, and even knowing that this season is going to result not in the playoffs for a third straight time, I'm still kind of heartbroken about leaving. But I also have something else that I'm going to that you all know is near and dear to my heart too, baseball season with the Oakland A's. And again, they're kind of staring a long season potentially in the face on the field. And I also want to point out here, because it's been thought of this way. Andrew, is this an April Fool's joke? No. I know it's tomorrow in Japan already. I know it's April 1st in Japan right now, but no. This is the truth, and this is probably the second to last, or I guess there's 2 more night shifts after this one. Felix asking a good question. Is Laura Britt going to be taken over again? The answer to that is no. I can't share all the specifics, but Jim Kozimor is going to come in and do the final stretch of Sharks content, Sharks Studio. Caker Girl's already requesting Timo Meyer interviews. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Wow, Alden also asking for Laura. All right, it seems like I'm chopped liver anyway, so I wish I could make everybody happier. But no, she will not be covering in this circumstance. Brutus, yes, I absolutely will, and I'll do it with my tail between my legs, and I'll feel shamed. I know what the odds are of that actually happening. And to answer Dalton's question, like I was saying before, there won't be a regular, I do so many baseball games. Hockey is 2 to 3 to 4 days a week. So it's fine doing these streams afterwards. But baseball season, it's 5, if not 6, if not 7 days a week. So live streaming a lot is probably not in the cards. Not live streaming every day, and especially live streaming, these games end really late sometimes. So that's probably not going to happen. But I also want to tell you this. I now have a new setup here at the office where my little travel rig here, my remote streaming setup, it's now able to do live streams from our Studio B downstairs, meaning that I could get you a high quality live stream, all the definition of like how you see it here with good camera quality, good audio quality. I can do this during a live TV show that we do. So for example, you can watch pregame live on TV, hypothetically, and maybe you could watch the behind the scenes camera on your phone separately at the same time. You could see what we're talking about during the commercial breaks. You can see when we come in, how we set up for the show. Anyway, that's just an idea, but don't be surprised if you see the live streams from me coming from the actual studio downstairs, because that's apparently all set up now, and I'm pretty excited about that. Timothy suggesting 162 night shifts. No, I think, first off, NBC Sports is only going to televise maybe 159 A's games, not all 162. But even then, I think last year I worked 20-something A's games. That was a lot. I'll probably get in the 110s this year, 120s. I don't know. But yeah, I'm just not going to do that many that volume of live streams. And yeah, backstage stuff, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Backstage stuff, guests, Dalton would like that. I'm glad to hear it. You know, there's some things I can and can't do, and obviously I don't want to get anybody in trouble, and I'll toe all the lines as close as I can, but I won't cross them. Look at Brutus breaking news. Only 2 more night shifts. Okay, how about this? Let me also make up for that. If that's bad news, let me also make up for it with this. Next week, put it on your schedule. It's kind of in the not even tentative anymore. It's not locked in 1,000%, but I'd say it's pretty well dialed in. Wednesday at around 9:00, I'm going to have my Sharks teammates on a live stream. I guess I'll brand it Beers with Brody. I don't know if there will be beers, but I'll have 4 of my coworkers who are completely hands-on in everything we do here in the studio production. And coolest of all, 4 females, which is something that maybe nobody knew or nobody expected. But I want you to meet them. I want you to hear their takes. I want you to hear their stories. I kind of want them to share even what they do. I think part of it is just it's just the roles that they serve, and the behind the scenes stuff I think is very interesting. But clearly, you know, having an all-female crew that's bonded close together, and they're very proficient, and they all love the Sharks specifically, not just hockey. Although they are wide hockey fans. I think sometimes it's crazy. I've run across 2 different types of people. Some people are just Sharks fans, which is fine. Some people love all hockey, and the Sharks are their team. I definitely feel like such is the case for these 4. Anyway, can't wait to have you meet them. So that'll be on Wednesday. With that, I think, you know what? I could either give you a couple more bad minutes of live streaming, or I could just say, that's all I got tonight. I didn't even get to 20 minutes. Sharks picked up their 30th loss tonight in Colorado. They do play Joe Pavelski and the Stars on Saturday, which is going to be interesting. Why not? I wish tonight would have turned out different. I was really hoping that the Sharks would have made a statement. You know, that like this was the platform, right? No score after 1. It's 1-1 after 2. Just outscore them 1-0 or 2-1 in the third period and steal the win. Shock the world. That would have been a great night shift, but that's not what it turns out like tonight. So until next time, I'm probably taking tomorrow off, or maybe I'll live stream. I don't know. But until I see you next, be safe. Thumbs up on this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time. Good night.